Brian Powell, Max King, winner 2012 UROC 100k.
Yeah.
Your first 100k, buddy.
I know. I was pretty surprised, let me tell you.
You were worried going in.
Yeah, I was worried. I'm still worried. I'm a little worried right now about my legs.
Worried about tomorrow and the next day?
They hurt, dude. Yeah, it's gonna take me a couple days to recover from this one.
So right out of the gate, you and Sage running pretty strong.
Yeah.
You go out a couple miles, like 3 miles out or 4 miles out. There's a turnaround, but there's no marking for the turnaround.
Yeah, there was no marking for the turnaround. I don't know why. And then so we ran a little further and saw the lady running up the hill with the sign. So that wasn't that far. We only ran, I don't know, an extra quarter mile or something.
So that happens, and Dom Grossman was telling me there was some sort of gentleman's regroup of some sort. Was there?
Yeah, everybody's kind of like regrouped, and it's like a restart on the race. It's like, okay, everybody, ready, go. It was like a restart.
Has that ever? It doesn't happen in a track race. Somebody falls at a steeple. No.
Well, it's a little different.
Yeah,
I mean, we were lost down there, and so everybody's like, well, we'll just. I mean, everybody was together anyway, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, it's just a little restart.
Nice.
So, no worries.
You and Sage get another lead, and
yeah, we ran up that hill pretty strong. Actually, Sage felt pretty good, and we looked behind us. We're like, where is everybody?
Well, yeah, he did win that Mount Washington, and you can run up hills pretty well, but.
Yeah, it turned out they all took a left turn.
Nobody told you that time?
No. Well, they were back a little ways by that time, so we didn't see anybody anyway. And then, so there was this cameraman sitting in the middle of the road, and we were just running up it. And so we kind of both go around the cameraman, and we were kind of looking at him. And turns out there was a left turn right there where he was standing. Didn't bother to tell us. I mean, he's filming right there, right? Like right next to the turn. And he just like, we run by him, he doesn't say anything. I'm just like, what's up, man?
So how did you guys get back on course?
Well, we figured it out. Well, there was a lady that came up in her car and said, are you sure you're going the right way? And we're like, we looked around, we're like, no, but thought so.
Unless you had a better suggestion.
So we went back down and around, and then we ran the right course, and we came back out onto almost the same spot where we'd gotten to. Like it was maybe like another like 3/4 of a mile around, like where this trail kind of just ducked into the woods for a little while and then popped back out on the road. And we like ended up in the same place. Me and Sage are like looked around, and we're like, we should have just gone straight.
So how do you do? You're not even 10 miles into the race.
Yeah, I mean, because of that, we weren't too worried about it. We knew we had another 50 to go. So it's like, well, at that point, we're like, all right, just relax and try and catch back up. And because we had quite a bit of time, we probably lost, I think, about 6 minutes. We probably had 2 minutes on the group at least. So maybe like 6 to 8, because we had at least like a minute or two on the group.
Okay.
And then we turned around, came back up, caught Ellie first, and then a couple miles later we hit the King of the Hill aid station. They said leaders are 4 minutes up on you. So I figured in that span of a couple miles we at least made up 2 minutes. And so it had to have been we lost like 6 or 8 minutes or something like that. So I'd say probably we were off about a mile, and that kind of like my GPS kind of confirmed that out at the end.
Okay.
Like I was about a mile ahead of where the aid station marker was supposed to be.
Okay.
So yeah,
I didn't see you guys. I kind of heard reports that you guys were like working together. Is that you guys sort of?
We were running together, kind of off and on, kind of switching places a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, we were trying to catch up, get back up into the lead, at least kind of to where we kind of left off. So yeah.
So you guys push on. When do you guys get back in the thick of it?
I think it was about mile 20 to 25. We ducked into a trail, the trail section in the middle, and that's where we caught David Riddle and Dave Mackey. And so at that point, we just ran with them for a while. We're like, okay, we need to just chill out, rest for a while. We've been going kind of hard. And so we did that, went through the trail section with those two guys, got back out on the road, and then me and Sage kind of opened up a little gap. I opened a little gap on Sage, and then we both opened a little gap on Mackey and took off. And then we had the long road, and then some dirt road, and then another road out to Dragon's Back. And at that point, I had about a mile, or not a mile, but a minute on Sage.
Yep.
And my legs were starting to get a little shaky there, but then at that point I had a hammer bar, and that actually helped quite a bit. And I felt real good on the trail section, that out and back trail section.
So were you just feeling good, or did you conscientiously make a push to kind of?
A little bit, but not. I was feeling pretty good on the trail, and so that's what I just. I maybe pushed a little bit, but not. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say much. I was pretty comfortable, and then ended up at the turnaround area, out back. It was. I had probably 2 to 3 minutes on sage.
Okay.
So I knew I was putting some time on it. And then when we got back, I had a few more minutes.
Like 6, yes.
6.
Yeah.
So.
And you just steadily built a lead from there.
Yeah, and
any low patches?
Not too. No, it was pretty steady actually. Pretty consistent. My legs started to cramp every once in a while, and I'd get some salt in me, and then it'd kind of go away. But it's pretty consistent though. I felt pretty consistent, pretty good, and. Just kind of steadily built that lead up, which I was really surprised about. I wanted a lead going into this last uphill, and I didn't expect to continue to build that lead through those trail sections and stuff. I figured either Sage or one of the guys behind them who were moving up really well would start to kind of get into that lead a little bit, cut into it. So
didn't happen.
No.
And you were driving up. I mean, I was in my car coming up past you on the road, and you were still, you weren't in full-on work mode. You were driving.
Yeah, I was trying to get this thing over with.
I've never seen anybody breathing that hard with 2.5 miles of a straight uphill climb and an ultra to go. Like you were.
Yeah, I was working.
Redlining it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I knew by then that I had enough of a lead to take it, but I didn't want it to last any longer than it really needed to. So I needed to work hard to get that thing over with. So that's what I was doing. I was just trying to get it over with and work hard up the last hill. And actually what was worse was the downhill before that stupid hill. My legs were killing me coming down that. And then I felt pretty good coming up the hill and had, again, it's pretty steep down there. I think the average on that 2.5 mile section is 10%.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty tough climb, and there were definitely some sections of like 12 to 15 where I was having to work pretty hard and getting a little tired up in the top. And slowing down a bit, but then it was over. So
then you were done.
It was done.
Before the race, we talked a little bit about how in your past attempts at longer than say a 50K, you've had some rough times in most of the races. Did you do anything differently today than?
Well, I mean, I've been like working on climbing like hills a lot this summer, and I think that's what's actually made the biggest difference in being able to sustain strength throughout the entire race. Been working on hills a ton, and like doing speed goat helped a lot, and doing the mountain races and stuff that I've been doing this summer, like Pikes Peak and stuff. Felt great after Pikes Peak, even though I had a crappy run there. But coming down, I felt really good, and then the next day my legs weren't sore from that downhill at all. So I knew that things were starting to click a little bit, and getting a little bit better. My legs were just getting stronger, and so just coming into this, I didn't know really. I knew like it's hilly, but it's longer than any I've ever run, so I didn't know how I would do. So hills helped the most, and then changed my strategy on nutrition a little bit. I took in about 200 calories per hour for the first 3.5 hours, which is normally what I do for a 50K.
Okay.
But at that 4-hour mark or so, it seems like everything kind of starts to shift and change a little bit, and I need more. So then I upped it to about 300 to 400 per hour.
Okay.
So basically a gel every 15 minutes.
So you're doing gel and then just water most of the time?
Yeah. Gel and water, and then I did 2 hammer bars, one at 2 hours, one at 4 hours. I meant to do one at 6, but I didn't get my drop bag. I was trying to get that from you the rest of the time, and we kept missing each other, but it ended up being okay. But that's what I changed. And I found that like on my longer training runs in the mountains and stuff, I'll eat some of the hammer bars and stuff, and I actually can digest them pretty well, and they help with a little bit of sustained energy a little bit longer actually than just the gels.
Gotcha.
And so it seemed to help on my training runs. So I'm like, I'll try it here, see what happens, and it does. It definitely like it makes a difference there, and kind of helped a little bit. So that was cool.
Great.
Yeah.
You were talking about working on hills. how in particular have you done it? What kind of hills workouts have you done? Is it
not too many workouts per se, like real intense sessions? It's just running a lot of elevation gain as much as I can get in and bend. Living in the mountains, it's kind of ironic that I actually, it's really pretty flat there in Bend. I have these 2 hills in town that are both about maybe 800 feet high that I just can do repeats on during the week, and then sometimes in the weekends and stuff I'll get up to the mountains and the Sisters. And like a couple weeks ago I did South Sister pretty hard up, and then went down the other side, and then did middle, and then came back down, got lost in the woods, and then came back up and over Green Lakes area. So it was a good day of, I think, probably about 10,000 feet of gain in 25 miles that took me 6 hours. So, it was a good training day like that, and some other stuff kind of similar to that. So.
Gotcha. Well, it was really cool seeing you at the finish. I mean, here you won a very competitive race on the men's side. You won a nice prize purse.
Yeah, dude.
And you were like, $5,000. You're not gonna complain.
No.
But like, you were psyched. You were like high-fiving Gil, the race director, because you finished 62 miles. Like, how strange is that for you? Like, in your other events, running a steeplechase or a marathon, it's about, a time or a place on that day.
Yeah, I mean, I know that I can get through a shorter race, and I know I'm going to be strong throughout it, and it's just how fast can you go, And this, like a race like this or a 50 miler, like it took me a long time to figure out the 50K. Finally figured that out. And then I've done 2 50 milers that just, in the last 15, 20 miles have gone terribly. I'm just basically walking. And so trying to figure out this longer distance has taken me a long time to do. It's like with the hill training, that's what I changed the most. And so I was really hopeful for this race, that would actually work, and it did. And so I was really psyched on that. And that's just taken me so long to do that. But finally kind of figured that out. I'm not saying, this could be a fluke, but hopefully not. But it was definitely, pretty rewarding experience, even though my legs are absolutely killing me right now.
They'll hurt worse later.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of which, later, are you going to sign up for 100 milers?
Yeah, someday. I don't want to right now, that's for sure. I don't want to run another 40 miles. I don't know. Someday, but not right now. I'm going to change focus. This fall was kind of focused on longer distance, like this 100K, 50K last weekend, 50K next weekend.
Stump jump.
And then GFK. And then I was thinking about doing North Face, but I'm not going to. My wife's actually due that week. So
congratulations.
She's totally ruined those plans.
Oh, the nerve.
So yeah, I know. No, and then so I'm not going to do that. But then next spring, I'm going to change focus a little bit. Do cross country. I want to try to make the world team in cross country again, and do some 50Ks like I usually do in the spring that are fun, like Chuckanut and stuff. And then maybe jump back on the track. And steeplechase went really well last year. So I was like, well, kind of want to give that another shot, see what happens. So it's working to where I can do this kind of stuff. I'm running the hills, and that gives me strength and keeps my speed up for the steeplechase. It's really weird, but it really works. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to jump back on the track and do that without much training. Again,
it worked.
It worked last year.
It worked. Like, you got to the finals of the Olympic trials, right?
Yeah. So
that was your best time as well?
Best time, PR, 6th place, best place I've ever had in the U.S. Championship, except for in 2005, I was 5th. So it's been a long time since I've gotten.
And that wasn't an Olympic year.
That was an Olympic year. That was the year after an Olympic year. So it was actually it wasn't a weak field, but it was lower than any of the other 4 years. Like that year is usually the lowest, and then it kind of gradually builds up to the Olympics the next 3 years. So pretty psyched to be 6th at the Olympic trials. That was pretty exciting.
That was pretty cool. Today you were first at your first 100K.
Yep.
Congratulations on the UROC win, Max.
Thanks, man.
Bonus question time.
Oh, jeez, got more. All right.
Oh, just one quick one. One quick question.
All right.
I think you might be joining a good crew for some beers later on this evening.
Yeah, might. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. If you were to, what style of beer would be your first choice?
Oh, that's easy. That's an easy question. Anything where my fork, if I put it in there, the fork will stand up. That is a good beer, my friend.
All right. We'll see what you can find if you were to.
Yeah. Guinness, a stout, something like that. Those are my favorites.
They got some down.
Something dark, something heavy.
Right on.
And if they happen to have a good scotch.
Maybe that as well.
Yeah, maybe.
You've earned it.
Thanks.
Yeah, well done.
Gah! I'm hurting, man. It's like, I'm not sore yet, but everything just hurts. I'm moving okay, though. Wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Where are we going for this?
We're just up the top of the hill.
Oh, yeah. Right here.
You mean right where you are?
Yeah.
Essentially?
Stand here.